Hello everybody, and welcome to another video of mine as I will be doing a game called Open TTD and creating a series on it. There will be challenges and overall kind of enjoyment of using this game because of it being a sandbox type game. So you kind of have a little bit of, your own imagination and how you want to do things. And a little background of this game is it's a transportation manager type game where you have natural resources and people as passengers to get from point A to point B, and trying to have it in a way where you are trying to make the most profit out of how to transport it from point A to point B. So, like for example, if it's cheaper to send somebody on a plane from one city to another, obviously you're going to want to continue having that aircraft from airport to airport. And if it's cheaper to send someone from one city to another on bus, obviously you're going to want to keep using buses because they make it cheaper and you gain more money off of the buses going from point A to point B, with either within a city or from city to city. And then there's natural resources like grains, livestock, wood, coal, oil, and other things as well that you can implement within the game as using mods and all that other fun jazz to spice it up a bit, where it takes an extra steps of producing, goods or stuff that need to help with others to produce it more efficiently as well. So the overview of kind of the series is I will be using the biggest map, temperate map, 4000 of 96 to 4096. There are lower increments within this game of making it a smaller map, but I've decided to, within this series, to have fun with it and use the biggest map possible, and kind of have no end goal, but within kind of the end goal will be to have the game be satisfied with what we are working with, and continue to grow the company with all of the boats, trains, airplanes, and trucks and buses to transport these items. It will be auto-generated, so it's not like a custom map that I've made within the game, so it will be auto-generated. Cities will be put where they are auto-generated, and same with industries as well. There will be challenges to it. Using some mods within this game is called New GRS, and there is a section where you can find those, and I will show you within the game later on in the video. But there's mods for industries, vehicles, and cargo distribution. And then you can find it in the new GRF settings and download in the Check Online Content tab, where I will show you in a little bit where if you don't have any mods, you can find them, and based off of what kind of game you want to have, there's different mods in that section that you can download and put it into the game. And we are going into the challenges. Having a 2 highway from corner to corner from buses and trains. So it could be the top left to the bottom right for all the buses going down, and meaning this because it will not have a bus going from all the way from the top corner to the bottom corner. They will be intermingling from city to city, but it will be like a nice long highway going down, and same with like the trains as well. But the trains, could be, efficient from going from corner to corner, but there will be, pit stops along the way to help cities grow and to move passengers and make the money for the company to continue to grow and have more trains that are available to go down the line. Make a city up to 10,000 people. And if it's auto-generated, well then maybe, 20,000 or even 100,000 could change that number as, the auto-generated world will be made. And then creating distribution centers to disperse throughout the world for natural resources to be dispersed. Kind of put dispersed twice, but anyway. So like for example, that coal will be in one spot and it will help to disperse it to the power plants and everything else. So there's, like kind of like a hub, so like a distribution hub. It transfers to this location, then it'll help with the other trains going from location to location to help keep it flowing, and taking from other coal mines that are nearby to disperse to that location to help out with not having a shortage of coal, because eventually throughout time these coal mines do run out of coal and they get removed, but there is times where they do end up being repopulated, or we can fund one and that will have its resources too. And then these are the 3 main ones, and there may be possibly more as I go on with the series. That's either you put a comment down below of being like, hey, you could try this, and I can implement that into the series as well, make it into a video of trying to accomplish the challenge, or if it was a fail, or I continue to plug away at the challenge as the series is going on as well. And that is the end of this presentation, and we'll show you the game and how it's going to be all set up in the kind of next part into this video. So here's the game of Open TTD. Here's the loading screen, and as I mentioned, I will go into the new GRF settings, which is where you can modify the game and have these mods that people have made to spice things up within your game and make it more interesting. So as of, if I were to load into the game, these are the active ones that I have that I will be using, and then there's other content ones that I have downloaded that I can just click on and add it, and it will go into this blue section where these are the ones that I have on like a file, and I can select them if I may choose to do so. So I will have the American Bridge replacement set, the Open GFX with the airports, the industries, the road vehicles, the train stations with the trains. The Roadhog is for road vehicles, the buses, the trucks, and stuff like that. And then United States town names will be for the towns. And as I've mentioned, you can click on this check online content, and it will bring you to all the new GRFs that are in this database, we're going to call it, so to speak, that you can, click on Aussie town names, so the Australian town names. Click on this little check mark, this red check mark, and then click download, and it will download that content for you and put it into that other gray box of the inactive new GRF files. So if you were to want to change it and put it in for the next game that you are creating, it will have Australian town names in that game. And you can delete them, you can add them, you can move them up, down. So if I were to click on this one, it moves down. It will become from an active one to inactive and stay there, unless if I were to delete it or whatnot. But I don't think you can delete it from the inactive files. You can just either add it or remove it. So it will be kind of stuck there, but it's not the end of the world if you don't use it, or if you wanted to delete it but you can't. But say if you wanted to use it for a later game, you have it available within your inactive files section. And now on to starting the new game. There is no scenario that we are playing, no scenario editor, no multiplayer. Obviously if load game, it would be, load game. Not playing the hype map, there's nothing else. Say if you want to change the settings or anything for the game, you can click on this settings button and it will load you to all the settings. And you can have it basic, advanced, expert, or settings with all different values, and it will show you this, and you can modify it as much or as little or to none as you'd want. I kind of go with expert ones, and then you can just click on these minus pluses, and it will close out the menus for you, so you can see all of the subtitles and the titles when it comes to changing a setting. So we will continue with the new game, the temperate map, the 4096 by 4096. We will be starting January 1st of 1950. We'll just continue to go. I have it set where it's the 2100 or 2200 will be the end year, but I can change it and move it farther if I so choose. For either a new game or this game. I think it would have to be for a new game, but 2100 seems to be a long enough, but we can go back to the settings and change it. 2500 scoring end year, so that is very long enough, and especially with how big of a map we will have, I could change it to 3000, but I am not going to do so. And new game, we have smoothness, we have rivers, medium, so medium selection. I could have few So there's not many or many, meaning a lot. We'll do medium on that. Freeform, because you can select water or freeform, so it could be water or land at the edges of the maps. You can have very low sea level, low, medium, high, custom. We're going to keep it very low. Normal amount of industries, normal amount of towns. We could do a custom, and then we just have to enter a number, but we are not going to do that, so we're just going to keep it at normal, and then we can generate the game. And it will generate the rivers, the towns, the industries, and it does take a little bit for it to happen. So we have 6,656 towns, roughly. And within the first couple of towns, we got one that's 1,084 and another one that's 663. So like this could be a good bus route to start off with, as we're kind of looking that we could, attach them, and then they go back and forth and eventually help each other to grow. But we are not going to look into that, but these guys are very close to as well. So within proximity, could have a train developed run within this area, or not train, bus within this area, and then could have some boats and stuff like that, but that is only for one section of this big enough map. So you can go to the map, and there you go. It's very big. And then the roads and everything, the map in itself, town names. That way you can see what is actually going on within the area. So we have a lot of land going on within this build, so we can go from corner to corner when it comes to the bus routes and also the train routes. So I am going to say that from this top part up here to down here is going to be the bus route, and then from here to here is going to be the train route. As there's a lot of area to be put in, and we can maneuver where it will need to go. So like it could start at this town right here, or maybe a little bit back, for a 15 tile spread. And when we have to upgrade the trains, it will be big enough where we can extend the train station. So, but what I also like to do as well is kind of look at the towns and sort by not name but population. So the biggest one is 3,677, where the next one is 3,582. So making a city of 10,000 for that challenge is what we strive for. Now that we have the scoring of 2,500, it could increase to 100,000 if we were to go that long. And I have it set also when it comes to the settings of of a wall clock of each year is 30 minutes. I can increase it to 60, meaning 1 hour is 1 year. Where I feel like, oh, and you can change this as well. So 2500 is that scoring end of year, and minutes per year would be 30 minutes, which I feel like is reasonable. It default sets to 12 minutes per year, and it goes by kind of quick. Where if we times that by 2 and extend it out a little bit, it gives you a little bit of not necessarily wiggle room, but allows you to really think and see what is all happening within the map. Because if we go back to the map, you could also look, gives you kind of time. If you were to continue to let it play out, you can pause it, and you can have it set where it's paused and you can build, or you can have it set where you can only build when you're in live and it's not paused. I have it set where it's you can build while it's paused, so maybe a little bit of a cheat sheet or something like that, but it's kind of using the resource to the best of my advantage on that. So overall and in general, you can see these different color code legend on the bottom for the color code of what is what, but we have nothing, and the reds are kind of like the cities, industries and whatnot. Don't need to really see the trees. This is what I was looking for. So there's industries, there's a bunch of them that you can highlight over, and it will kind of twinkle on the oil rigs or a coal mine, that there's a lot of coal within these areas, with it being a big map. So it would be kind of cool to see if there's like an open spot for a distribution kind of center, but everything seems to be occupying it one way, shape, or form. But eventually some cities get abandoned and whatnot, and then they go away, but there's always some that can come back if you set it that way. But within this game, I did not set it that way, that it was gonna grow and everything kind of as you move along within the game. So within the next video, we will kind of start building our train and bus routes to get it started, and trying to get those things established within the highways. So hopefully you appreciate this video, and have a good one.